Okay, so real quick here, we can see FTC, right? We can see the FTC coin that is on the Binance Smart Chain. As you can see, the price did start from around somewhere in the $60 range, went all the way up to about 100 or something, and now it's down at 40 something dollars, right? The next thing we can notice is that it has over 500,000 holders on the Binance Smart Chain, right? 24-hour volume has been $17 million in the last 24 hours. Liquidity, $29 million. Active buys around 10,000, active sales around 11,000, right? So co-host, as new members come in, you can allow them into the room, right? So
Okay.
this is what we are looking at. You're looking at a vibrant cryptocurrency in a vibrant ecosystem. Now, the reason I just wanted to share this is because of the fundamentals. So in crypto, we have something called fundamentals, right? So if you look at these fundamentals with over 500,000 holders, it lets you know that there is a vibrant community that is actively buying and selling this cryptocurrency, right? And you can see so many buys, so many sales, right? So many buys, so many sales. Just earlier, we saw a buy for $70,000. And these kind of buys keep coming in, day out, minute in, minute out. A lot of people actively trade in this cryptocurrency, even people that are not a part of the Fintoch ecosystem as a whole in terms of how we earn, right? So now let's go over and look at another cryptocurrency. A lot of people know PayPay, right? PayPay coming from an all-time high somewhere here. Currently, this is where PayPay is sitting. Why is it important to look at this chart? Because in crypto, every coin goes up and down. It goes up, it goes down, right? On the decentralized exchange, its volume is 14 million, right? 14 million. So it's because of centralized exchanges that even some of these coins get a lot of transactions every day. Fintoch has not yet listed on any centralized exchange. Think about that. You're early. Now let's look at the number of people who are even holding PayPay, right? 135,000. So when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's not just about the name of the coin and people are talking about it. No, it's about the utility, the use case, and then the community, right? Because that's what drives the market, right? So let's come on to the new announcements that were released on FinTalk. Actually, I want to start from this. So good news, the liquidity pledge, what we call staking, right, has launched. Now, what FinTalk is saying is that every user is going to be required to provide liquidity in the form of FTC main and FUSD, which is the stable coin of Fintoch inside of the FinSwap ecosystem, right? That's the decentralized exchange. And by doing that, you'll be able to stake your Fin LP, right? Which what is the Fin LP? That is basically your receipt or certificate that you get when you provide liquidity. That's all it is, right? So by staking that LP, you would now be able to earn a daily return, fixed return. So for 7 days, you're earning 1% a day in FUSD, which is a stable coin, meaning that if I put in $100 or I put in $1,000, I'm gonna make 1% on that $100, which is $1 a day, on the $1,000, which is $10 a day, and I'll be paid in FUSD, Fintoch stablecoin. So this is another way that they are creating utility for their stablecoin to have a high number of users and transaction volume in order to bring it up to the mainstream public, right? So 15 days, you're gonna earn 1.1% a day, right? And for a 30-day period, you're going to earn 1.2% a day. This is huge, people. 1.2% a day. I believe we can see ourselves really making some really good passive income. And what's important is that we finally have a project that owns its own blockchain, that has its own cryptocurrencies, that has a vibrant community. You can see yourself earning passive income for at least a couple of years. That's how I really look at this project. You know, so many times we've been through many projects. They come, they go, they are shiny here today, they are not shiny tomorrow. Why? Because they are not built on a solid foundation, right? And if you, any of us know one thing about the blockchain, you can delete the blockchain, right? So that is very important when you have something that is built on technology. Also, a lot of people know that Fintoch has been improving the technology of their app day in and day out. This is not a website where you just deposit money, make money, and then one day you can access the website. No, this is a wallet running on the blockchain connected to an app that attaches itself to the entire ecosystem, right? So if in case you provide liquidity and you're looking for the address, your contract address is right here. It's in the announcements inside your app, right? So that's one good thing. We saw that. Now, then, well, another feature is that it has the ability to compound, right? So the app supports the ability to compound by allowing users to automatically stake their assets into the next cycle when the pledge order ends. So if you choose a 7-day cycle and it ends and you have it on auto stake, it would stake all your earnings, including your capital, back into the pool, allowing you to earn on everything. So that is a good feature for people that like to compound, right? For people that like to compound, that is a good feature. Now, we have more utility behind FTC. So what FTC is saying is that they are activating their buyback option, right? The ability to buy back coins, and we're gonna find out the different ways they'll be doing that. So now, number one, they have the FTC on the Binance Smart Chain, right? So a lot of people have been asking, well, why is the price going down? Why is the price going down, right? To be honest, this is just my own analysis, right? And I'm pretty sure if you also take some time to look at it, you would understand. So this coin that is providing the data, right? The on-chain data, as you can see, on-chain data for the pricing and volume of FTC only runs on the Binance Smart Chain, right? It only runs on the Binance Smart Chain, right? So when you look at the transactions that go on, you'd realize that all these transactions are only going on the Binance Smart Chain. When you take your FTC, right? When you take your FTC and you go and then you what we call we bridge or we cross chain the FTC from the BEP20 to the FTC main or the FTC fin. Technically, the cross chain is going to sell that FTC from Binance, that chain, and rebuy the FTC on the Fintoch's main chain. Now that sell transaction will reflect here as a sell, but the buy does not show on this data. So that is one thing that Fintoch is yet to complete as far as their transition, which is, I think they have two options to peg the coins together in terms of price and data. So it reflects together and add that on-chain data, or they would have one chain having its own data and letting the other also have its own. And the way that they will prevent arbitrage is to tax the cross chain in a way that it always relates to the price. So if you look at this announcement, what you're saying is that there is now an introduction of a cross-chain fee, right? So there will be a time where there might be a higher price for FTC on the main chain and then a lesser price on the pancake swap. So because of that, to prevent people from taking advantage of, let's say, buying a lot of coins on the cheap side and then bridging it to the expensive side and just making free money on the difference, they'll put a 10% cross-chain fee. Now, this 10% is going to fuel our ecosystem on the main chain, right? So all the staking that we are doing, the ROI is going to be coming from multiple sources. We already know that all the transactions that have been going on from the buy and sell on the pancake swap side, Fintoch had their own LP in there and they generated a lot of fees, right? They've probably moved all of that into the FinSwap LP as we speak. And they are also now going to charge a 10% cross fee starting from tonight, right? For the Asian market tonight for them and for us tomorrow, right? So that is a good utility, which is going to bring in profits to anyone who is staking. So think about, let's just go right here and look at some of the volumes in transactions, right? People are doing today alone 9.6 million in sell. So imagine if half of this, right, just half, let's say 5 million, for example, was bridged to the FTC main. 10% of that 5 million would be 500,000 in fees generated in just one day, right? In just one day. So they're going to do burning as well. We'll speak about what burning is. Also, Finso, if you don't know the game, the games inside of Fintoch are live. You can play. People have been winning money, losing money, winning money. But this, for the first time, I'm seeing a GameFi in the blockchain that is willing to give you back the money you lost. So when people take their one FTC and go play some games and double it, triple it, because they know they are lucky and they play slots or whatever it is, they are doing great. And then for those that lose, Fintoch is going to be paying you 0.005% of your total loss amount daily until it is fully refunded. This is a good incentive to let even people that are losing keep playing the game, creating more activity and more use for the FTC. That's huge, right? Think about 100,000 players, 1,000,000 players spending $1 a day, $5 a day. That's where they are going to. They are thinking big when it comes to this space, and they've covered all the different sections that we can think about how to make money on the blockchain. The next thing is also FinPay. We're hearing soon that FinPay will be live, right? Very, very soon after the system is launched, right? They have decided to use the income for FTC repurchase to develop the FTC ecology. So what they're going to do is that they're going to use, there's going to be a fee, and that fee is inside of the FinPay is going to be used to keep developing the Fintoch ecosystem, okay? Also, the profits generated from all the different, when they say ecology boards, we're talking about FinSwap, FinPay, that's the game in Finso, right? Staking, all these different things will be used for repurchase, right? For repurchase. So as you can see, the FinPay transaction fee income repurchase and the FTC transaction fee destruction, right? So they're telling you that they are going, in order to promote the development of their ecology, they are going to unify the FTC obtained from all these places, right? And use them. Some of them will carry out destruction, right, on the main chain, which is to reduce the supply. They are going to be reducing the supply of the coins by destroying coins and limiting that supply. And with a lot of the supply staked and the majority of it in the mining node, think about how scarce FTC will become in months and how it would push the price really, really high. So that is as far as the FTC and the ecosystem. Now let's go and see if we can look into the app, right? Let's go and look into the app. Let me stop sharing here. One second. Okay. And let me do this. Where's the Fintoch App? Okay. So this is the new updated version. I had to literally get my Android to be able to use the new updates. For iPhone users, the update is not available on iPhone as of yet. So if you have an iPhone, just wait, right? There's literally nothing else you can do other than getting an Android, right? Whether $100 Android or a relative's Android, just to activate your staking. Now, let's go over to profit, right? Let's go over to profit because I want to go over this quickly. We have my mining at the top, right? My mining. Sorry, my mining at the top. What does this mean? If you have a node in Fintoch, which you use from your voucher, as you can see, FTC equal investment amount, $108. That was the voucher I had for my refund. I used it to get my node. Now I am mining. And what do? I can withdraw my mining that I produce. So I've produced 0.13 total, right? Now, unreleased, meaning that it's not yet released, 0.11, and released is 0.02, right? So that I can always just click on mining withdrawal, click on extract, and then begin to extract that mining, okay? That's what you would do every day, every other day, whatever you choose to do, right? Now, we go to wallet. If you extract, it would come in your FTC fin, the orange one, right? Now, what we are doing with the staking and the liquidity is all about FTC main and FUSD, okay? So there's two ways to go about this. Let's go back to profit. Well, actually, let's go to FTC. Right click on the FTC logo at the very bottom. Now, you are providing liquidity with FTC and FUSD pair. So if you are a new user, for example, or you're an existing user and you have FTC, right? You have FTC main, you would do this. You would try to swap some of your main for FUSD, right? If you're a user, new user or old member, and you have FTC BEP20, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to swap, regular swap, and you're going to swap out that FTC BEP20 for FTC main, right? Well, I think you can do it for the main, so you do it for FTC fin first, right? Let's go. FTC fin, then after you swap the BEP20 to the fin, what are you going to do again? You are now going to change your fin to main, right? To FTC main. You see, that's what you do in order to get the FTC main, right? So if you have the BEP20, you would move the BEP20 to the fin, then from the fin to the main. Okay. So once you have your FTC main, all you need now is FUSD, right? So you go back to FTC, and if you wanted to buy FTC stablecoin, you go to FUSD exchange, which is the button at the very top right, right? So now with this exchange, you are able to buy FUSD using either USDT BEP20, USDT ERC20, or USDT TRC20, right? You have the ability to buy the stablecoin using any of these USDTs. The minimum is $10 you can buy. So let's just say I'm buying, for example, 50 bucks, right? There's a fee, and I will tell you how much you get. So I'll probably do it 51 in order to get $50, right? Then I put in local wallet and I hit exchange. So that's what you're gonna do with your USDT if you wanted to buy the FUSD stablecoin, right? Then once you have those two pairs, you're gonna add liquidity. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me swap out $50, right, of my FUSD. Actually, let me do 51, right, to FTC main. Let me do this. Okay, let me see if I could do that, how long it would take while we're on the Zoom. Okay. Well, that was almost instant. So as you can see, $51 has been swapped for FTC main. I received 1.12. So now I'll go over to add liquidity, right? I'll go over to add liquidity. Now, what do? I'm going to input what I need, which will be somewhere, I think you need about $100 minimum to provide liquidity just from what we have seen so far. Initially, we knew it was $200, but let's go here and check. It says FTC Pledge, right? FTC Pledge. This is where we'll be doing the pledge. So I think the pledge takes a minimum of one LP or something like that. So that's about $100. So how do we do this? We'll come back to FTC, go to add liquidity. Then now I can add my liquidity. So let's say 1.12, right? 1.12. And then that will be $50 FUSD. I will click on add, right? And I'll confirm. And you just give it a second to confirm and add, right? So just check on the blockchain to see if it was completed. Come back. Liquidity added, right? So I have 7.4729 LP tokens. That is my receipt, right? The 7.472 you're seeing, that is the receipt, my receipt tokens. How much FTC do I have? 1.12. How much FUSD? $50, right? Okay. So now I can also see it on top where it says redemption. Also, liquidity pool assets. So far in the last 24 hours, over $22 million in FUSD has been put in the liquidity pool. Over 496,000 FTC. Put all together, that's over $44 million in just past 24 hours. That's how big this ecosystem is. This is not a fly-by-night project, people. If in just 24 hours, money of this volume can be moved into liquidity, it should tell you a lot about Fintoch, right? So now, what do? We come over to profit, and you will see that when I scroll down, it says my team, my personal liquidity is at $116, right? I added some to the little that I already had in there. And now, how do I pledge my LP tokens? As you can see on the screen, it says underneath user assets, it says liquidity pledge, 0 USDT. I will click on that button right there. Now I'm at the page called quick pledge. I already have LP tokens. I'm not doing a quick pledge. I am here to pledge my LP. So I'll go to LP pledge at the top right corner, right? Now it's telling you that in my balance, I have 7.47 FinLP tokens, right? That is how many tokens I have that I can pledge. So I'm gonna go in there. You have the option of 7 days for 1% a day. You have the option for 15 days for 1.1% a day. And you have the option for 30 days for 1.2% a day, right? So depending on your tolerance level, right? We also know that there is an automatic compound feature, which will compound your LP earnings over and over again. So it doesn't matter what you choose, just go with what you prefer. So usually I'll tell people, if you're a long-term person, 30 days works for you. You actually earn more, right? If you want to be compounding at a faster rate, maybe every week, then you choose the 1%, right? If you want to do it every 15 days, you choose the 1.1%. So in this scenario, we're just going to go with the 30 days, right? 30 days, 1.2%. Then I'm going to put in the amount 7.472944, right? The entire lot. Then I'm going to click on LP pledge or insufficient balance. Why is it saying that? Maybe there's a fee I'm not looking at. Let me take some of it off, right? And let's try it again. Okay. So 7.47, right? I'm going to get a daily rate of 1.2%. My income throughout the period, right? Estimated total revenue is $36. So I provided $100 in liquidity. I'm going to make $36.38 at the end of the 30 days. Where it says recharge function, I leave that on. Why? Because that is my auto stake. That's auto stake. It's going to restake this LP over and over and over again. So I hit confirm, right? I hit confirm. And the transaction has been broadcasted. It's processing. And you can always click on it just to see. There is a transaction hash as well, people. Everything is on the blockchain with this project. And this is one of the reasons why we totally like this project, Fintoch. And we are excited for the fact that the staking is back and we now have the ability to earn, right? So $100 is making me $36 every month. That's 1.2% a day, right? So now my LP is staked. It says pledged. So I will go back. And as you can see, liquidity pledge, I have pledged $101. Now, where will I see my profits every 24 hours? At the top, it says total staking rewards, right? Total staking rewards. I would click right there, and I would see my profits that will come in on a daily basis, and I'll be able to withdraw my earnings. Very, very simple, right? Now, if my 30 days is over and I didn't turn on my auto recharge, I would click on redeem to collect back my LP tokens, right? Once I have my LP tokens, I can always remove my liquidity and sell everything, even if I wanted to leave the ecosystem. That's the power of the blockchain. You have control, right? Your capital is not locked in, is not held by any company here. You have the ability to provide liquidity or decide not to, right? But you're still earning every day. So that brings us to this part of how to provide liquidity. Now, for people that are not so technical or don't already have liquidity provided, there is a much simpler way, right? And we're gonna go over it, a much simpler way. So in this example, let me go to wallet. In this example, I have $100 in USDT. So let's say I got started today, and hey, I got started, I have $100. I want to join Fintoch. I sign up under my sponsor. I'm not so technical. I want an easy way to provide liquidity and make money. Okay, so what do? You would then go to profit, right? So this is for the, some of our older customers or people that are just not looking to manually provide liquidity, because what happens is if you are the one buying your FTC, providing liquidity yourself, you have that control of knowing that, okay, I can always unstake and then take my liquidity out and still have my FTC and my FUSD, right? But I think with the quick pledge, it goes straight into the LP, and then once you redeem, it will come straight back as USDT. So that is the difference, right? So I will click on the liquidity pledge again, right? So the new user comes, he signs up, she signs up, she has USDT, either USDT BEP20, ERC20, TRC20, or just FUSD. You can do a quick pledge with any of these 4 stable coins. Can you imagine that? Simplicity. In this case, I'm using BEP20. So I want to do 7 days with this one, right? I want to do 7 days. The minimum pledge amount is from $100 to $50,000. So if I had $50,000 right now and I wanted to make 1% a day, I can do it. If I have $50,000, I want to make 1.2% every day, I can do it. And I can be out in 30 days. I can be back in again. That's how simple the system is, right? So I'll choose 7 days, then I'll type $100 in the pledge amount. But you have to notice, if you're going to use the quick pledge, you are getting charged about 3 sets of fees, right? Your first fee is from your gas fee, which is your BNB. So you need to have enough BNB to cover your gas fee, right? Then you're going to get the cross-chain miner fee. Then your pledge miner fee. You're going to need FTC main inside your wallet. So even for the new person who gets started today, they are going to need to make sure that they have FTC main, right? Now, how would they get FTC main? How would they get that? So as a sponsor, you can do one of these two. You can always have FTC main on deck, right? Now 0.0 something is always going to be just under $1 in fees, maybe at most about $1 to $1.50 in fees. You can always just send that directly to your new signups, right? And then they will have enough for gas fee, right? That's what you can do. They can send you USDT, $5 or whatever it is, and you can always send them the gas fee. Or they would have to come to swap, right? They would have to come to swap, and they would swap. Actually, no, they would have to come here. My bad. Give me 1 second. They would have to come to FTC, right? Come to FTC exchange. Go to the BSC chain. So if they had BEP20, they would be able to buy FTC BEP20, right? So let's say they had $10 for gas fees. They would then exchange it to buy the FTC BEP20. Then they would come to wallet after they are done and go to swap. Then they will swap the FTC that they bought. Let's say they had bought 0.15. They'll swap it to Fin. After swapping it to Fin, then they'll go ahead and swap the Fin to FTC main, right? But they'll also have to leave a little bit for FTC Fin in fees in order to get the main. So let's just say they did 1-1. Then now they are done. They have FTC main for gas fees. Okay, that is what they can do. So with that all said and done, new user comes in, only has USDT, right? About $100. Make sure they get some main, enough to cover gas fees, and then they come down to profit, click on liquidity pledge, then on the quick pledge, right? Put it on 7 days staking. They type the amount $100. You're gonna get for $100, you're gonna get 7.319 LP tokens, right? I have the BNB, I have the FTC to cover gas fees. So now I'll tap on quick pledge. And then I'll click on confirm, as you can see. Okay, so now it's processing, as you can see, right? It's processing. I can click on it, check on the details. What am I expected to make in terms of income, right? So by the day, I'll be making about 99 cents worth of FUSD, right? And I'm pledging for 7 days. At 1% a day, I'll be looking to earn about $7, right? Somewhere around $7, right? Somewhere around $7 is what I'll be earning. So we wait while it processes. Why does this take longer? Because this is what happens when you do a quick pledge. The system itself has to take you through the cross chain, and then it would provide the liquidity for you, and it would stake the LP tokens for you, all in one transaction. That is what it's going to do. So it has to go through both the cross chain and the staking, all just to provide your staking of LP. But it tells you expected LP tokens. So when you see expected earnings, this is not the money you're going to make. This is how many LP tokens you're going to get for contributing $100. Then those tokens will be staked in the system. As you can see, there's no pledge time yet, and there's no cumulative income yet. But it tells you per period, you're going to earn 99 cents, which is $1 every day for 7 days, right? For 7 days, which would be about $7, right? So we just wait for it to process. It's going through all the cross chain. And once it's completed, it would say pledge. Okay, exactly, right here. As you can see, pledge. It gives you the time. It tells you how many days you have done, 0 out of 7. Period income, 0.98. So that's, people, that's how much you're gonna make a day for that $100. So that's it. That's how you provide liquidity as a new user who is not so well versed with all this complication and just wants to go straight ahead to provide liquidity with your USDT. As you can see, I have pledged an extra $100, right? But it doesn't show in my personal liquidity. You get it? So that's the difference between the quick pledge and the personal liquidity, because with the personal liquidity, you have your own liquidity you have created, but you are now taking your LP tokens and staking the LP. But with the quick pledge, you are going straight to staking the LP by allowing the system to create a liquidity token for you and stake on your behalf. And then whenever you withdraw, it would give you back your USDT that you put in alongside your profits of FUS, right? So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very simple. Our profits, again, will show up at the top, right, where it says staking rewards, which is different from my mining, which is also different from my team rewards. So in one project, we already have 3 streams of income, right? 3 streams of income. One project, we have 3 streams of income. So now what we're going to do is that now that we have gone through everything, we're going to take some questions at this point, right? We're going to take some questions. I know some people have a few questions on the liquidity and stuff. So this is how it is. Very, very simple. You come to profit. Okay, now it shows up in personal liquidity. Great, great. So it actually shows up. It actually shows up in personal liquidity. So that's a good sign that it actually shows up. So even the quick pledge does show up in your personal liquidity. That's a good step. That's a good step they've added. So as you can see, I have 2 types of liquidity. One, I pledge my own LP tokens. The other was a quick pledge in the system, right? Now, your liquidity is always going to show up, right? It's always going to show up. If you did it on the Binance Smart Chain, right? You did it on the Pancake Swap, you're going to see that you would have Cake LP, but we are not able to stake the Cake LP to make ROI. So I have Cake LP because I only put in the minimum, right? I only put in at the time 0.11 FTC. It was like $7 or $8, right? To be an active user. I don't want to remove that. I took new money, at least $100, because I want to earn 1% a day on 100. So I put that into the new liquidity via the quick pledge, right? That's simple. So if you already provided liquidity and it was the minimum and it's going to be less than $15, I would leave it. If, I would just leave it and get new capital that I choose to earn from the ROI, okay? So that's it. Let me stop sharing the screen on this. And then we can take some questions. Okay, actually, I'll leave the screen on and then we can take some questions, okay? So yeah, if you have any questions, just raise your hand. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna take questions and answers at this part. I would pause the recording at this point.